Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Upper Echelon Podcast, where we keep it real and we keep it jiggy over here. Because why? Because we ain't never ever scared. Hit the like button on your way in. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. Hype this video up if you please. And also, I have a goal set today for my channel of 10 super chats or super stickers. I would greatly appreciate if you guys could assist me with reaching my goal. Also, donations are always appreciated for my channel. So if you're able to send a cash app to me to support my channel, that would be also greatly appreciated. And that is pinned at the bottom of the screen. So we're going to get into um, a pretty serious topic. But before we get into the topic, I want to do my shout outs to everybody that's here. Hey, Lametrius, welcome in. Hey, Nagram. Hey, Sheena B, Mabel, Anointed, Blueberry Boots, Terry Dow, Lolita. Lolita said, "Okay, what happened to the show?" I still have it. You know what? I'm working on creating an intro video, and I'm gonna put the song with the video. So I've been kind of busy, but when I get a chance to actually sit down and create the video how I want it to be um, done, I'm gonna add the song that I like that Danny created onto it. Hey Nola Bunny. Hey Dreamy Girl. Hey A Stokes. Tay Bonet. Good morning. Hey Blueberry Boots. Floria and Tasha. Thank you so much, Common Collective, for that $20 super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Good morning to you. Hey, so pretty germ. Good morning. Okay, so we're one down, nine to go. So I want to this is pretty serious for me, this particular topic. And it's actually very emotional for me as well. So um, initially, I did kind of want to stay away from the Romeca Meeks story. Not stay away from it per se. I don't want to say that. But what I'll say is I wasn't going to get too deeply involved into it. And the reason for that is because of just my history so far on YouTube. I know how deep things can go, okay? And it's so close to home. It's so close to the heart. It's right here in the city of Chicago where I was born and raised. So I'm very passionate about this topic. And it is a little bit concerning and disturbing to me when I hear certain things, and I know how passionate that I am about anything that I'm serious about. So I did try to kind of stay away from it. But the reason that I'm choosing to speak on it, but I did do a live stream about it. I want to say sometime maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, where I kind of talked about Holly. I don't think I went as deeply as I really could have. But moving forward, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Reason being is because there's some things that I want to make sure that my audience is aware of when it comes to certain things um, regarding this story. Okay. And then the second thing that I want to say is I'm not going to wait till the end of the live or the middle of the live or 30 minutes in or whatever the case is to let you guys know exactly where I stand. So where I stand is I am 150% in support of Romeca Meeks' family. I'm 150% saying justice for Romeca. I blame nobody else for Romeca Meeks' passing and murder, unaliving, the way that she was gunned down on the streets of Chicago, the way that she was unjustly and unnecessarily. I blame no one for that except for Holly Johnson and Carlos. Period. Point blank. So if you have a difference of opinion in the chat, I'm willing to read it. I'm also willing to open my platform for opinions. However, I want it to be understood plainly and clearly that I'm not going to change my stance. And if you don't like that, then I don't think that maybe this is the live that you want to listen to. Okay. I also want to say that I'm a content creator. I am a blogger. So yes, I do look for factual information, But along with that factual information, based on what I see and what I find, I draw my own conclusion. No, I'm not creating any theories. No, I'm not going to be lying to my audience. But what I am going to do is give you my opinion based off of what I know. And then from that, I'm going to give, I'm going to give what I think. Okay. So understand that this live is based on what I think and what I know and what I found, all mixed up into one, creating my opinion slash fact. Okay. So I want to make that clear. I don't want anybody leaving my live saying that, I'm spinning anything or creating anything or whatever. I'm letting you know off jump, I'm giving my opinion. Okay. So I just want to make that clear. I want to also say before I get started with my live, what's going on, Pratt? Hey, Brittany Davis. Hey, Miss White. Hey, D Ham. Who else is in here? Hey, Dreamy Girl. Hey, Ebony. Hey, Queen Fee. Hey, Miss Ashley. Did I say thank you to Trina for that $10 super sticker? Thank you so much, Trina, for supporting my channel. And thank you so much for that $10 super sticker. It's greatly appreciated. Before I get started, I think that it would, only be proper to say, because I do know that Romeca's family, they are in the chats, they are on social media, they are watching what's going on. And I couldn't imagine what it must feel like to not only lose a family member, and then for Tina McMillan to lose a daughter that she was so close to. And not only lose your family member, but we live in a day and age of social media where everything is televised, literally. So I couldn't imagine not only losing someone that I was so close to in my family, or losing a child, and then actually having to see what happened, how it happened, and the crime scene on social media on a daily basis, which is why I'm not going to be posting that on my channel. So what I want to say to the family is I'm so sorry that your child, your sister, your cousin, your niece, your mother was gunned down in cold blood, murder on the streets of Chicago. I am so sorry that you all have to deal with not only your child, your cousin, your niece, your mother, or whoever she was to you, your friend, being murdered like she was on the streets of Chicago. And I'm sorry that you had to see it, and that you have to see it on a daily basis, and that you have to get on social media and you have to see the blood on the pavement, and you have to see how it happened, and you have to see her laying there in that fashion, and you have to see the person that you created a child with standing over her, looking like he could care less. I'm so sorry that you all have to deal with that. And then moving forward, not just the trauma of having to deal with your child or your family member or friend being murdered the way that she was, but then you have to get on social media and listen to an imbecile jumping from platform to platform, going into detail about Carlos and Romeca's relationship, dragging her, demonizing her, and trying to make it seem like she was the worst person in the world, which in some way must justify what happened to her. So I am so sorry that you all cannot rest and grieve as a family because you have an imbecile looking for clout, running from platform to platform, speaking about what he does not know, not giving the family the proper time to grieve. I'm so sorry that you all have to deal with that. Now I'm off that. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, to the audience, I'm talking about Q, the young man that's been jumping from platform to platform, defending Los and Holly, demonizing Romeca, and making it seem that Romeca in some way deserved what it was that she got because it was in some way self-defense. Number one, I disagree that it was self-defense. I don't agree with that at all. At all. And we're going to get into that in a moment. Number two, I think that he is disgusting for jumping from platform to platform, speaking about somebody who hasn't been in the ground for 30 days the way that he is, even after he issued an apology to the family, even after the family asked for him to stop doing it, even after the family said that we are going to send you a cease and desist. If the family says to shut up, Please respect the family. But he's not doing that. What he's doing is he's on social media trying to build a platform. And not only is he trying to build a platform, because there's several content creators talking about the story, but what he also is doing is trying to make it seem like he has some sort of inside scoop. We're going to talk a little bit more about him down the line. The purpose of this live is to talk about triangulation. That's what we're talking about today, and we're about to get into it. Thank you, Lila, for that super sticker. Thank you, Sheena B, for that super sticker. I appreciate that. Okay, now let's get into it. Okay, and I'm gonna read off the definition. Okay, of the relationship, and I'm gonna play you guys a video. Let's see. And if I sound, passionate, it's because I am. If I sound passionate about the story, it's because I am. Okay. I'm not swaying in between. I'm not confused about anything. I don't know. I'm not in a space where I think both no. I think that Carlos and Holly were wrong. I think that Holly is a psychopathic, sociopathic, maniac, murderer is what I think she is. And I think that Los is a manipulator. And I think that Holly was so engulfed in trying to be chosen and so jealous of Romeca. Now, this is where we're getting into my opinion, okay? I believe that she was so jealous of Romeca that she would have done anything to erase Romeca from the equation. I do. I really, really do. I think that she would have done anything to erase her from the equation, especially if that's what Carlos wanted. I saw a video very recently where a family member stated that after the situation occurred, DCFS was called up to the school, the Department of Children and Family, to retrieve the child, the baby, the boy, Romeca's son. Thank you, Dehan, for that. Thank you for that super sticker. I appreciate you. Welcome everybody coming in. Let me read, because I got to read this, because this is my good sis right here. I haven't seen her in a while. What's going on, Rich? Rich said, good morning, upper in chat. Yes. When you clearly stated your opinion, you can't go wrong. That guy, well, I'll keep that to myself, but I could watch MM. I couldn't watch MM live because of him. Yeah, he rubs, Q rubs me the wrong way. He does. But I think the purpose of Amber having Q on her platform is to I don't know. I do know. It was to show that it's possible to have a conversation and express your feeling about how you're not in agreement with someone in a respectful way without having to attack the person. So I felt her on that. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Miss Season. Hey, so pretty germ. Thank you for that super sticker. I mean, that super chat. I appreciate you. Ebony says, yes, upper Carlos, Quadeja, Holly Johnson needs to be in jail, prison, period. Hold on one second. Okay, so let's get into it, you guys. Because I don't want to stray too far off the topic. And so far, thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate that. Hey, Miss Foxy. Now let's talk about it. So in a situation involving two women fighting over a man, triangulation is a manipulative tactic used by the man to create a triangle of you know what, y'all, before I start reading that, I don't think that I finished what I was saying. Because I think I jumped into somebody's comment. What I was trying to say was DCFS, the Department of Children and Family Services, was called to the school to retrieve Romeca's son. Now, when the Department of Children and Family Services arrived to the school, the teachers and the staff, now this is according to the family, the teachers and staff at the school made it clear that they would not be releasing the child to the father. The reason why they said that was because they stated over the past 3 weeks before Romeca's murder, the father had been to the school several times trying to engage in conflict with Romeca. Now, people can say that's not true, but I'm not going to say that something is not true that the family is stating. I'm also not going to say that something is not true that an eyewitness has said. If the eyewitness was there and they said that they saw A, B, and C, and I myself was not there, who am I to tell them that they are confused? Okay, so Miss Foxy, thank you so much for that $4.99 super sticker. So and thank you, Shanta, for that $5 super sticker. Miss White said we also thought he would hear us better if we listened to him, so he would listen to us. Unfortunately, it took a different direction. Okay, I'm getting ready to get into the triangulation aspect of it. But what I will say to that, Miss White, is I personally understood what you guys were trying to do. Now, I did see that it took a different direction. However, what I'll say to that is when you have a plan in mind for someone, especially somebody like Q, you can have your plan in mind, but if their motive is not pure, it probably isn't going to work out. Okay, because in some situations, and I, you know, y'all already know how I feel from last night. Okay, when it comes to certain situations, I don't feel sorry for people when someone is being aggressive with them. If somebody is being aggressive with a person and that person is doing things to agitate, they're doing things to aggravate the situation, they're telling untruths, they're antagonizing. That's how I know that he is a very much so covert antagonist about him. So I believe that why he was on the platform. I believe that's why Amber had him up there, but I don't believe that he was up there with pure intention. So that's my thing about that. And so let's get into this. So we know that the family stated that fact. Carlos had been to the school, according to members, at 3 weeks on many different occasions before the unaliving of Romeca. So he had been up to the school, right? DCFS would not release the minor to keep that in mind. Now, speaking on triangle, hold on one second. Let me check something. You guys, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna be able to check text messages while I'm live. Okay. In a situation involving two women fighting over a man, triangulation is a manipulative tactic used by the man to create a triangle of conflict by pitting the two women against each other. The man secures a position of power and control and avoids accountability for his own behavior. The concept of triangulation was first introduced by family system theorist Murray Bowen, who described it as an emotional system. In the kind of the romantic conflict, man acts as a manipulator, pulling the two women into an unstable situation. Now, before I continue on, if you all remember, a family member. Okay, so drop a 1. I'm not gonna continue until you guys drop a 1 in the comment to let me know that y'all hear me better. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on talking, and if I'm clear, then drop a 1 into the comments. Okay, drop a 1 into the comments if I'm clear. If I'm still going in and out, drop a 2. Okay, so I'm breaking up. So Ebony dropped a 1 that I'm clear, but Trini Batty said I'm breaking up. So I'm gonna wait till more comments come in to let me know if I'm breaking up. Okay, I have 1s in the chat to say that I am clear, so you all can hear me. Okay. Now what I want you guys to remember is that a family member came forward and said that there was a post made by Romeca. I haven't seen it, nor have I found it. However, I did see a video where a family member stated that that Romeca stated that Carlos would question her as to why she doesn't check other women when they are coming for him, or when there's a situation where another woman is involved. She never checks that woman. And she responded by saying, why would I check another woman when you're effing her? So this is what Romeca's philosophy was. And this is what Carlos' philosophy was. Carlos had some sort of sick fantasy, according to what I have heard from family members, some sort of weird, sick fantasy about having women fighting over him. This is what I believe based off of what I have heard from family and what they've stated about what Romeca posted and what Romeca said about how Carlos questioned her about why she doesn't check other women. Okay, Indy says, I saw that post. So the post exists. Also, if anybody is in my comments, if y'all are new here and y'all not following me on Facebook, please send any information that you want me to have to my Facebook channel. My Facebook channel is called Upper Echelon, and the logo is black and yellow. Type in Upper Echelon and you'll find me. Okay, so we know that Carlos got his rocks off by women fighting over him. He felt powerful, wanted by women fighting over him, to the point where he actually verbalized it to Romeca. But that's not the part that sticks out to me. The part that sticks out to me is that Romeca responded by saying, why would I fight somebody that, or have conflict with someone who you're effing? That shows me that Romeca had no interest in fighting with other women. We also know from statements from family and friends that Romeca had a boyfriend and was in a relationship with another man. This leads me to believe, now this is what I want to say. When people say that we don't have the facts about everything, that is absolutely true. However, we do have facts that can help us draw certain conclusions about the situation. No, we weren't there. No, we don't have video from beginning to end about what happened. However, we have witness statements, we have family accounts, we have posts on social media, we have videos of both Romeca going back and forth with Carlos and making statements with Carlos, and then we have videos of antagonistic behavior from the actual killer, right? So we can take all of those things into account and draw our own opinions from those things. Hey, Lisa Savoy. Hey, Latae. Ebony said he was words here. Why don't you check? Okay, here we go. Why don't you check a bit BITCH coming to you about me? She said, I would never check BITCH. I'm checking you. So this is what her attitude was, right? So when we look at the situation and we say, well, how do we know that she wasn't doing things to Holly? How do we know that she wasn't chasing Holly down because she was mad that Holly was with her baby daddy? How do we know all of these things? Well, we see here that a conversation was had about this same situation. And this leads me to believe that this was Romeca's philosophy, that she's not fighting over a man. What it seems like is she may have had conflict with Holly over disrespect and being antagonized and being picked with on the internet, because that's what I think. But let's move on. Miss Season said many people lose their lives behind men and women triangulating others against one another. I agree. Ebony said, I still would like to know why were Carlos and Holly in different. We gonna get, hold on, Ebony. We slow cooking. We gonna get to that. So let's look at. Okay. The roles in a triangulating dynamic. Anytime I'm starting to break, if I'm ever breaking up, drop a 2 in the chat. In a typical triangulation scenario, 3 roles emerge. Perpetrator, which is the most the situation against each other. The persecutor / victim, which are being manipulated into competing with each other for his attention and affection. The rescuer. This role isn't always present, but can be assumed by one of the women who may try to rescue the man. So with triangulation, manipulate both parties. So now I'm breaking up. Okay. Let's see. I might break up for us. I got y'all. I'm breaking up. I might break up again, but it's because I'm doing something. So hold on one second. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay. I got y'all. I see it, y'all. I see it. Give me a second. Hold on. Let me see. That's weird. I don't know. I think what it is that I'm in a bad I'm in a bad location in the house, and I think I need to change my workstation. I really think that that's what it is. Let me see if I can. Damn. Hold on. Please, you guys, I know that I'm breaking up. I don't need nobody to text me. I see it, y'all. I see it. Please don't text me. Please try not to text me while I'm live, guys. Okay, so thank you, Sunshine. Now I guess I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna keep talking. If it's broken, if it's breaking up, I think that it'll clear up in a minute. I don't want to have to get off. Drop a 2 if I'm still bad. Let me see. Still bad. Let's see. Don't worry, we're gonna finish one way or the other, y'all. I'm gonna figure it out. Okay, it's clear now. Okay. Oh, well, since it's clear, let me say this. I think what I need to do is I just need to move my workstation, because that's what it is. I think I'm just in a bad, I have my setup, I think, in a bad space. Let me turn my phone off. Hold on, because I'm not, these texts just they keep coming in and it's distracting me. Okay, so let's see. So we went over the rescuer. Now, what ends up happening with this situation with triangulation, the whole factor of it is the man trying to make it seem like he's in desperate need of something. He's in desperate need of being saved. He makes that apparent to both parties. Or sometimes he makes it apparent to one party. Oh, I'm in this situation. Oh, I'm the victim. Oh, I need your help. That's really the biggest part of pillow talk a lot of times. Down talking one party to the other party, and then sometimes down talking this party to the next party. And I really feel like that may have been what it is. I really feel like that's what it was with this situation. I'm not taking any of the blame off of Holly at all. I still say that she's a sociopathic, psychopathic, maniac, homicidal, jealous bitch. That's really what I think about her. And then, so let's move on. The man may create a toxic triangle in several ways. Comparing the women, he might constantly praise one woman to the other, creating feelings of jealousy and insecurity. For example, he might say to his girlfriend, "My ex was so good at cooking," or "Your friend is so much adventurous than you are." Fabricating stories, he may make up stories to paint one woman as the villain to the other, creating animosity and misunderstanding. Creating a push-pull dynamic. By showering one woman with attention and then pulling away, he creates a cycle of uncertainty that makes both women feel desperate to win his approval. Using a silent treatment approach. When a conflict arises with one woman, he brings in the other, making the first feel inferior and insecure. Avoiding accountability. By creating drama between the two women, he successfully diverts attention from his own dishonest and unfaithful behavior. Now, the effects of the women involved. Triangulation has a damaging emotional and psychological effect on the victims. Insecurity. Thank you, Floria. Bless you, Upper. You deserve honor. You don't speak off your emotions no matter what it is. You deal with facts. You make it plain and understandable. You would be an awesome lawyer. We need you now. Thank you, Floria. I appreciate that. That was sweet. I really appreciate that. Okay. So we did the constant comparison, increased jealousy and right. Okay, so now this is the effects of the women involved. Triangulation has a damaging emotional, psychological effects on the victims. Insecurity and low self-worth. The constant comparison and competition can erode a woman's self-esteem. Increased jealousy and rivalry. The dynamic is designed to make the women see each other as rivals, damaging their emotional well-being. Confusion and questioning sanity. The manipulator's gaslighting can cause a woman to question her own perception and reality. Damage to friendships. If the two women were friends or knew each other, the manipulation can destroy their relationship. Emotional exhaustion. Dealing with the constant drama and manipulation is emotionally draining and stressful. Now, one of the reasons why I almost am positive that this situation was really a situation of triangulation is because if we look at the video that Holly did, where Holly was talking about, "Oh, I could never be wiping butt ass for a living as a CNA. Oh, I could never be walking to not have a ride to my own birthday party. Or I could never be doing this and that." What she was doing was she was naming a lot of things in Romeca's life that was personal. Things that she probably shouldn't know unless, number one, she researched it, or number two, it was told to her. And the way that she was conveying it in the video, she was making it seem almost like the things that Romeca had going on was beneath her, and she was above Romeca. In my opinion, and I'm gonna always say that before I give an opinion, in my opinion, I believe that she believed that she was better than Romeca because of things that Carlos was telling her about Romeca, and the way that he was delivering that information to Holly made Holly feel that she had was what she wanted to convey to a wider audience, that she was better than Romeca. That's what I believe. Certain things about Romeca and what Romeca had going on, I highly doubt that Romeca publicized those things for everybody to know. So it's questionable to me how Holly found out about certain things. How did she find out that Romeca had a huge birthday party, but at that time she didn't have her own vehicle and she needed a ride to get there? How did Holly know that Romeca had been cheated on throughout the relationship with Carlos while she was pregnant? How did she know about all of these different things unless somebody, and I use that somebody loosely, told her these things? That to me is the process of triangulation. That does not make Holly a victim in any way, shape, or form. Holly is the villain in my eyes. She's the villain in my eyes. She should have known better. You being weak is not an excuse for what you did, okay? Because I'm sure, and see, here's Lil Tay said he was pillow talking between the two, by all while playing the other. I think that he was pillow talking to both of them. I definitely believe that. The difference is that Romeca didn't kill Holly. That's the difference. Now I'm gonna get into further more of what I believe about how that situation went down. So let me pull this down and read some comments. Doris said, I agree with you, Upper. Thank you, Doris. Hold on, y'all. I did a video on Miss Season said I did a video on triangulation as well. I'm gonna go check it out, Miss Season, because I know you got 2 pages. Is it on both of them? Ebony said Quadeja, aka Holly Johnson, has a degree in criminal justice. I was told, but don't know if that's 100% true. They said there's a photo of her in a graduation outfit. Let's see. Okay. Now let's get into the actual situation. Okay. Let's get actual situation. How I see it from my point of view, and also how from the information that we've all gathered, what the conclusion that I've come to. Okay. The reason that I say that Romeca was 150% the victim, and I'm not going to sway my opinion on that at all, is for some very, very simple facts. Now, some people are trying to break down the particulars, and that's completely fine. That's their business. But here, I'm gonna make it plain for y'all. The facts are that Romeca was dropping her son off at school. The facts is that Romeca was where Romeca was supposed to be. The facts is that we don't know why Romeca busted a U-turn. Okay? The facts is that Holly technically had no business in that vicinity at all. The fact is that Holly had an order of protection against Romeca. And it seems that Holly got an order of protection and this is also my opinion, in an attempt to manipulate the system. People get orders of protection every single day, and they don't need them, just to agitate the person that they're getting the order of protection against. I don't believe that an order of protection was even needed. Now, you guys saw or heard what we just talked about earlier, a few minutes ago in the live, where Carlos is the one that desired for Romeca to fight back and forth with other women over him. He wanted that. He wanted that. And Romeca said, no. Why would I be fighting over or checking a woman over you when I can just check you? You're the one with the responsibility. You're the one who I have a connection with, or a relationship with, or a past relationship. Why would I be fighting a woman over you? I do not believe that they were fighting that. Well, Holly may have been fighting over him, but I don't believe that Romeca was fighting over him. I believe that Romeca was fighting or maybe agitated or getting ready to get into a conflict over her respect. I believe that Romeca was being picked with on the internet. A lot of people are bringing up, oh, well, you know, Romeca had videos online too. It's things that Romeca said too. That's true. But do you want to know the difference between the videos that I saw of Romeca and the video that I saw of Holly? The difference is that Holly took the video of herself. Ding, ding, ding. Holly took the video of herself. Holly's video was very intentional. Unless anyone has seen something that I didn't see, all the videos that I saw of Romeca were videos once she's already gotten upset, once she's in the heat of the moment, once she's already pissed off. We don't know what Lo said to get her to that level of pistivity. We don't know what happened before he hit the record button. All we see is that he hits the record button and catches her acting like a maniac. She didn't ask to be recorded. She didn't say, hey, set your tripod up and catch me acting a fool so that I can intimidate Holly, even though I'm not talking to Holly. I'm talking to you. But what we saw with Holly is Holly get her cell phone, prop it up, get the lighting just right, and pull out a script where she can read off all these things that would antagonize Romeca. That's the difference that I see. And I think that makes a big difference. I think it makes a big difference, and it speaks a lot on intention. When somebody is in the heat of the moment, when somebody is in the middle of being angry, when you done piss off past their limit, and then after you do that, you then pull out your cell phone and start recording their response, I believe that's manipulation. I believe that's manipulation. That is not Romeca intentionally taking out a device, recording herself, logging into her social medias, and posting the video in hopes that Holly would see it. That's her having a disagreement, an altercation, or an argument with her baby daddy about, maybe she did say Holly's name in that video. Maybe she did threaten Holly in the video. Maybe she did, but she wasn't talking to Holly. Now, what I want is, I really want to know if somebody can send me, now let me also make this clear. If somebody can send me a video of Romeca setting up her camera, making a video directed towards Holly and posting it on her social media, I would love to see it. But if anybody is going to send me videos of Romeca being recorded by her baby daddy after he done pissed her off and shit that she said while she was mad, I don't really care about that. If you ask me, Holly is a manipulator. She's an antagonizer. She got on her social media. She intentionally, I don't care about off-guard videos. She intentionally tried to antagonize that young lady on social media. Period. Los did not catch her off guard while she was talking shit about Romeca in the comfort of their own home. Oh, I can't stand that raggedy ass. I hate your first baby mama. I beat her ass. I shoot her down. All of this while she wasn't looking. That's not what happened. But that's what happened with Romeca. Romeca is in her feelings. She's emotional. She's pissed. She's making threats. She's saying things she shouldn't be saying. We don't know what he did, what he said, or why she was mad. But what we do know is that he pulled his camera out after he did whatever he did and recorded her. Not valid. Not valid. Not valid. Two different things. Two different dynamics. Two different dynamics. And I get very, very, very upset when people try to connect the two. They are not the same. They are not the same. Nobody asked Carlos, Mr. Triangulation, to pull his camera out and record every time he was getting into an altercation with Romeca, and then after she already got mad, and then for him to post the shit on social media, not even when the girl wasn't even in the damn ground yet. It gives premeditation. Gives premeditation. This is why I feel how I feel about the situation. This is why I am not mad with Romeca about those videos. This is why I don't care about what Romeca said in those videos. We say things that we shouldn't say all the time when we're not being recorded. We say things all the time when we're having a conversation between me and you mad and I'm mad. But now in the world of social media in 2025, you can't do that no more because it's going to be a jackass to pull their cell phone out and record you and keep it stored in their gallery for when they need it. But what she didn't do is we can call Romeca all types of names. We can say she was a hothead. We can say she had a temper. We can say that she was violent against Los. We can say they was in a DV relationship. You can call her ghetto. You can call her what you want to call her, but you can't call her a manipulator. Because from what I seen, Romeca was 100. She wasn't throwing slick shots on social media, setting her camera up, trying to antagonize Holly. She was talking shit about Holly. Yeah. Okay, we see situations like that every day where one baby mama talking shit about the other baby mama and this and that. They don't like each other, but she wasn't online with a smug attitude, sitting up with her camera propped up. I would never be wiping ass as a CNA, or I could never. She didn't do that though. She didn't do that though. What's going on, True Slayer? Let's get into it, y'all. Don't forget, let me up. And then once y'all see that maybe 3 or 4 people already let me know that I'm breaking up, y'all don't got to keep letting me know. If y'all let me know once if I break up, and then I try to fix it, or I keep talking until we get past the hiccup. And then again, once I sound clear again, just let me know. All right. So who else came in here? right. Your love D stored in the phone for years. Did I say thank you for this Cash App? Hold on, because I don't think I did. Let me see. Thank you, Miss Foxy, for showing love. I appreciate that. Thank you for that Cash App. Thank you. Let me go up a little bit because I do want to read comments. Let me go up because I know I done missed a lot. Hold on. Latay said you can't be out here playing with people's heart. It can end badly. It can end bad, actually tragic. As we can see, the whole situation just sad, man. Very sad. Very sad. Cause look, I mean, damn, man. Like, it's a whole 7-year-old child without a mother. Y'all know how my heart broke when I saw that baby on his birthday. His birthday party was posted on social media. You know, damn. Without his mama. You know what I mean? Without his mama. Meanwhile, Carlos, Holly ain't saying shit. She done killed somebody and moved on with her fucking life. And then Carlos on his Facebook page showing off his jewelry. You know what I mean? So okay, so let's get into something. Wait, hold on. Ebony said right upper. He worked her. Yup, sure did. He worked her up, and once she was mad, he recorded her. Yeah, Romeca didn't have a say so in that in those recordings. Romeca wasn't trying to hurt nobody in those recordings. Romeca wasn't trying to antagonize someone in those recordings. Romeca was trying to hurt Los in those recordings. She was trying to hurt him directly. She was not trying to throw slick shots, antagonize, be funny, or anything else, or get to Holly or anything else on it. She was directly talking to him. He dragged Holly in it by recording it. Holly didn't ever have to hear that shit. He's the reason. I'm going to say this. Holly is the reason that the girl is gone because she pulled the trigger. But he played a very, very instrumental part in it. Very instrumental. Trina, thank you so much for that super sticker. I appreciate you. Payne to Victoria said he is with a new lady. We know. True Slayer says same way BB did Robert Hampton. Work on you and hit record. Yep, yep. Tanisha, thank you for that super sticker. I appreciate you. It is what it is. Says the judge isn't going to care about her video if she didn't threaten anyone that morning at that time. What jumped off or caused a confrontation. That's all they care about. Yeah, that's true. But I'm not a judge. I'm a content creator, so I'm looking at everything. So let's get into the law. Let's get into this, you guys. Let me pull this up. Do I want to do that one? I do. I do want to do this one. Hold on one second. Couple of rules of thumb. Now, why this is important to me to share is because I live in Chicago. I live in a city that where gun violence really, really is a problem. You know, it really is a problem, and I think it's so important for people to educate themselves on on the laws, state to state, whatever state it is that you live in. What's going on, Lysandra? Hey, your love. Your love says she probably had that thing in her for protection because he was putting hands on her. Possible. We know that Los is also a very, very violent maniac. We saw the picture of Romeca with a huge black eye. It was at one point where Q said that she did it to herself. We know Q is a liar, so I don't even like mentioning his damn name. But then you got some people saying that she got punched in the eye because she kicked his door in. Okay, so she kicked his door in, which was wrong. Okay, but I don't really know too many men that are in their right mind that's gonna knock a bitch out. I'm talking about he hit her full force, had to. Did y'all see her face? He hit her like a man behind that. He wasn't right for punching her in the face. Period. Call the police. Somebody kick your door in, call the police. Call your landlord, call the police. Period. It's no reason or excuse why her face was looking like that. So obviously he's a very, very violent, out of control a person. So that we know. That we know he's violent, and we know that we've seen several mug shots of him with domestic violence on there. So we know that he's had several battery domestic violence charges, and we know that he has a gun charge as well, where he has to register every year. Okay. Miss Foxy said, by the way, Miss Season, I've been watching your videos on Facebook. Your delivery and tone is welcoming, and your knowledge on narcissism is astounding. Ebony said her eye was closed. You don't hit a freaking woman. And then you have people actually justifying that, which is also very disturbing. That's pretty disturbing that people are justifying that. I don't care what she did. Bust your car windows. How many men are in the room right now? If somebody slash your tires, bust your car window, or if somebody kick your door down, what are you going to do? I would love to hear the answer. Are you going to punch her in the face like a nigga? I want to know I just want to know. Because there's a lot of women out here actually that are saying, well, hey, I mean, so just let me know. Is it okay to if somebody is destroying your property or does something to your property that you should then sock him in the face like a nigga? I'm just wondering. Just let me know. I want to know what y'all think. Now, rules of thumb. This goes for any state. This is any state. Rules of thumb for carrying a firearm. Okay. Emphasize responsibility. Situational. I want y'all to listen to this closely because I'm going somewhere with this. Situational awareness and strict adherence to safety principles. These guidelines extend beyond the basic rules of gun safety to include mindset, behavior, and legal obligation. Okay. The 4 universal rules of firearm safety. Treat all firearms as if they are loaded. Even if you are certain a firearm is unloaded, handle it with the assumption that it is loaded. Never point the muzzle at anything you are not willing to destroy. A safe direction is one where an accidental discharge will not cause injury or damage. Keep your finger off the trigger until your sights are on the target. Maintain proper trigger discipline by keeping your finger outside the trigger guard. Be sure of your target and what is beyond it. You are responsible for every round fired. Be mindful of bystanders and what lies behind your target. Now, let's get into mindset and behavior. This is what I really, really, really want to talk about. The reason I want to talk about this is because Queen Fee was live the other day, and she said something that really caught my attention. She wasn't necessarily speaking on this situation, but what she said was really, in my opinion, very profound. It really was. If Queen Fee ain't never said nothing profound before, she said something that was profound. She said and she probably didn't even realize how deep it was because she was in the heat of disagreement with someone else. She said, sometimes I don't even carry my weapon because I know how I am. Sometimes I leave it at home because I know what I'll do to somebody. I know where I'll go with it. So sometimes I just leave it at home. That is a very, very, very interesting take. And I think that it's worth talking about, because to be that self-aware is admirable. To say that, I know my temper. In other words, I know I pull that thing out even when I really don't need to, even if I could just fight you. Just because you pissing me off. I know where my temper will go. I know I can get irrational sometimes. I know where my anger will go. So if you know these things about yourself, and then you say, I'm going to make the decision, today ain't the day. Today, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I know that I'm in an active dispute with somebody right now. It's a possibility I might run into their ass. Let me leave this joker at home, because if I don't, I might take somebody out of here. And life is not a video game. You can't hit the reset button. You can't start over. You can't buy more lives. Once you're gone, you're gone. Once you take somebody out, you take them out. Deciding to pull your weapon out and fire and discharge it on someone is a very permanent decision. Ain't nothing cool about that. Ain't nothing easy about that. That's a very serious thing. That's a very serious thing. So I applaud Queen Fee for saying that, because you have to be, that takes a whole new level of self-awareness to say, I have this thing that I have to protect myself, but I'm not even going to take it with me because I'm not in the right space right now. And I know if I take it with me, I'm probably going to use it. And I'm probably going to use it even if I really don't have to use it. So let me keep that thing put up and not leave the house with it on this day. So I thought that was very self-aware. Let me look at the comments, you guys. Hold on a second. The doctor said, Ebony, I've heard you speak on this. Read my comments. What do you think? Latay said, Romeca ain't been able to rest since they unalived her. The energy surrounding this situation is dark. I believe Carlos put her through some ish. I think that let me be honest with y'all. Let me just keep it 100% real. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I know anything or got any special scoop that anybody else have. I'm just telling you what I believe. My feeling is telling me that Carlos wanted this to happen. My feeling and my intuition is telling me that he had no pure intention for her. My intuition tells me that he had a plan. This is just what you guys, I listen. I'm very, very intuitive. And I'm not saying other people are not, but I'm very intuitive, especially when it comes to people. I don't know what it is. I don't know if God gave it to me or what. Let me tell y'all a story really quick. And this is kind of off topic, but it's important that I tell you this, because this type of thing has been happening my whole entire life. And I don't really tell people, because when I tell people, they think I'm crazy or they look at me like I'm crazy. But my whole life, my grandmother used to tell me this, and I used to look at her like she was crazy. But as I get older, I'm seeing that I have it. I don't know what it is, but Um, some years ago, this is just one example, but it's happened several times throughout my life, even as a child. And I don't really talk a lot about this story because I just don't. But so I'm trying to think, should I even bring that up? Yeah, because I just want you guys to realize like that sometimes I don't know what about other people, but with me, I just can feel shit. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Like I can, and this is the reason why I don't associate with a lot of people. I don't have a lot of friends. I'm very selective with people because I feel people. I don't know what it is, but it's like, uh, God gives me, I don't even know how to put it, but I'll give you an example. So when my oldest son, he's 13 now, but when my oldest son was about 7 months old, my cousin drowned, right? But before my cousin drowned, he was 9 years old. But before he drowned, it was the summertime. He was running through the neighborhood with his friends, and he jumped over a fence and he jumped into a pool and drowned. That's how it happened. But before that happened, I kept having the same dream over and over and over again. Not every night, but the same dream on and off for like 2 weeks prior to the incident. And the dream was a child inside of a womb in amniotic fluid, like surrounded by fluid and fighting and crying to get out. And when my cousin passed away, and I kept telling my mom that I was having this dream before my cousin passed away. And we kept saying, girl, you not pregnant already. So we're thinking it's a pregnancy dream. And I didn't connect the two until much later. And I said, wow, you know, damn, it happened again. And I connected it. And I said, damn, you know, and that's happened several times in my life where I would have that. And so that's why, and one thing that y'all might not know about me is that my dreams are always very, very, I don't even know what, they're always very symbolic, very, very symbolic. None of my dreams are like, where it's like a regular dream where you're having a regular day. It's always very symbolic, you know. So I always have to think about them. And when I have them, and most people don't remember theirs, but I remember all of my dreams. And when I have them, that dream that bothers me, I always tell people in my family, like, what do you think that meant? Because of my past experience with my dreams. I have a dream that seems symbolic and then something very similar will happen. So the reason I told that story is because not only does that happen for me, but also I literally get uneasy when somebody has a bad intention for me. And sometimes I brush it off, but as I grow older, I've learned to listen to my feeling. I'm learning to listen to my discernment. I'm learning to say, hey, I don't really like this person. I really don't know why, but I just don't. And maybe it's a reason I don't, so maybe I shouldn't be around. And I'm learning to listen to that. So, and I think that a lot of people have it, but most people just don't listen to it. But let me get back on topic, y'all. But the reason that I gave that is because I have a very, almost to where the hair on my back, the back of my neck stands up when I think about Carlos. Even more so than Holly. It's something about him that really almost almost scares me. I don't even know how to put it. I get an uneasy feeling when I look at his picture online. It's something very sinister about him to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I feel like that. I know why I do know that he's a manipulator, but it runs deeper than that. It's something else going on with him. And I really don't know what it is. And I think it's gonna come out because I put a post on my community wall. So y'all go look at it if y'all want to. But I think it's something with him, and I can't put my finger on it. But let me move on back to topic, okay? So this is the part that I want to talk. mindset and behavior. This is why I brought up what Queen Fee said on her live stream about how she leaves her weapon at home purposely when she's not in the right mind state. It's so important to have the right mindset when you're going out and about, or even when you in a situation where you know you got beef with somebody. You know that you right down the street from them. You know you right down the street from the child's school. Okay? Mindset and behavior. Your attitude and awareness are critical for responsible carry. Avoid conflict. Your firearm is a tool of last resort for self-defense. Do I need to say that again? Your firearm is a tool of last resort for self-defense, not an intimidation tool. Learn to de-escalate and avoid confrontations. If a situation becomes tense, then the best course of action is to leave. 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 I had to say that 3 times because that is 100. Your best, and the reason I said it 3 times is because it hits deep, because the psychopath Holly had plenty of opportunity to go. Plenty. Maintain situational awareness. Pay attention to your surroundings to identify potential threats early. Notice the locations of exits and observe the behaviors of those around you. Remain discreet. Concealed carry means your firearm should not be visible to others. Avoid flashing or printing the outline of the weapon by dressing appropriately and limiting movements that might reveal your weapon. Do not check your GUN in public. Fidgeting or adjusting your firearm in public draws unnecessary attention. Trust your high-quality holster to do its job and only handle your weapon in private. Next one. Be aware of your temperament. If you are easily angered or lose your temper, you should reconsider carrying a firearm. Emotional control is a requirement for responsible concealed carry. Not an option, a requirement. Emotional control, and they'll teach this to you if you ever take a CCL course. Emotional control, if you have a good instructor anyway, is a requirement for responsible concealed carry. Next one. Do not drink alcohol or take impairing drugs. Never carry while under the influence. It is illegal and reckless. Legal and practical considerations. Know your local laws. Familiarize yourself with the specific laws of your state in any state you travel to. This includes where you are allowed to carry and your duty to inform law enforcement during a stop. Know your GUN. Fuck it, I've been saying gun the whole time. Fuck it. Know your gun-free zones. Be aware of prohibited areas such as schools, government buildings, and places that sell alcohol, and follow restrictions. Train and practice regularly. Proficiency is a perishable skill. Regular live fire practice and dry fire drills will build muscle memory and confidence in your ability. Use the right equipment. Invest in a high quality, comfortable holster that fully covers the trigger guard. Wear a strong supportive belt and keep your firearm secure. Inform law enforcement when required. In many states, you have a duty to inform a police officer that you are carrying a concealed weapon during a traffic or investigative stop. If required, keep your hands visible and calmly state that you have a concealed carry license and that you are armed. Secure your firearm when not on your person. When you take your firearm off, it must be stored securely to prevent unauthorized access. A gun safe or lockbox is a critical piece of equipment. Okay? So it was really, really important to read that because, again, I come from a city where gun violence is a problem, a big, big, big problem. And people are so uneducated about, people think because they have a CCL that gives them a license to kill. And it does not. And that's where we are now. That's where we are now. Yes, you have a CCL. Yes, you are allowed to defend yourself. Yes, you have a right to protect yourself. But the question that lingers is, did you actually have to use that amount of force? That's the question that lingers. Did you have to use that amount of force? Did you have to shoot her that many times? At what point did you still feel like you were in danger? Was it after the first shot? Were you still in danger after the second shot? Were you still scared after the third shot? How many times do you have to shoot somebody and unload on them before we can say that Holly felt safe? Because this is what bothers me. When people use the oh, Holly was, this was self-defense. In no way, shape, or form do I feel that Holly needed to use that amount of force in any instance of self-defense. No way, no how. You can't convince me. You can't convince me. Nothing you say can convince me that Holly needed to shoot that girl 3 times. Nothing you say can convince me of that. Nothing. Maybe you can convince me that she was shot because she ran up on her and Holly can't fight. I might even take that. But once somebody is on the ground, rolling around, writhing in pain because they burning from lead in their ass, you mean to fucking tell me that she was still trying to attack you and you still needed to fire on her? I don't want to hear that she was scared. I don't want to hear that her adrenaline was pumping. I don't want to hear that I don't want to hear any of it. There's no excuse. You took the time out of your life to get a concealed to carry license. That means you have a certain responsibility now that you have that license. And one of those required things that you must have with that license is emotional control. We don't want to hear about adrenaline. We don't want to hear about fear. We don't want to hear about none of that. You have a concealed to carry license to protect yourself. Once she's on the ground, you no longer needed protection. You shot to kill, bitch. You're shot to kill. And you will be dealt with. Even if not in the court of law, you will either be dealt with by street justice or you will be dealt with in the next dimension. One or the other. You will be dealt with. And I pray that you are dealt with. Yeah, I don't know if y'all can tell, but I am pissed about this shit. I really, 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 really am. And I really pray, because the investigation is still open, that they put that crazy bitch under the jail for life. You took that girl away from her son. Somebody need to take you away from yours, bitch. That's how I feel. That's how I really feel. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. And another thing before I move on, I want to say this. I really hope that this psychotic bitch, Holly, doesn't actually believe that her and Carlos are going to live happily ever after as a family. Because, see, when you killed his baby mama, you killed his son's mother. And that's never going to go away. There is absolutely no possibility that you all will ever live happily ever after. If you were smart, you would have minded your business, stayed out of their conflict, and left that girl alone. If they got beef going on, you would have let them handle their beef, and you would have minded you and your child over here somewhere and stayed up out their business. If you were smart, if you really wanted it to work with Carlos and you were mature enough and you thought it could be a chance that you could be the one for Carlos, you should have minded your business. Because now there'll never be a chance for you and Carlos. Because you could never be his son's stepmother. That's not going to work. You killed his son's mother. You killed his mama. You could never be his stepmother. Y'all could never be a happy family. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm gonna read that in a second, doctor. Um, Matter of fact, if you want me to, I can read it now. See, because I just saw your comment for the doctor. And for the people that come back and watch this replay, I just want you to understand that you are welcome in my comments. I know that I'm passionate, and I know I can come off very, very aggressive sometimes, because that is what I was told the other day, that I can be a little aggressive. Now, just because I talk like this does not mean that you cannot leave your opinion in my comment as long as it's respectful. I don't mind. But when people leave comments, what I need you to understand is that you can leave your comment and just know that that's your opinion. Never leave a comment in my comments thinking that you're going to change my opinion. Never ever set yourself up like that, because you're setting yourself up for failure. I've been on YouTube for 3 years. I have people that have been following me all 3 years, and they will tell you that you're not going to change Upper's mind. So I don't want you down in those comments stressing yourself out trying to convince me of anything. Because when I come online and I speak on a topic, I've already made my mind up. There's absolutely nothing that's going to change it. There's nothing that you're going to say at all. It's a gift and a curse. I'm not going to change what I think. So don't hurt yourself down there in those comments, okay? Don't hurt yourself, because you're not going to change what I think. Period, point blank. I don't want you to stress yourself and don't stroke out down there, okay? You're welcome to come, but just know that your purpose of leaving a comment is just to express your opinion, not to change mine, okay? Just wanted to make that clear. Let's get into it. Guns in schools in Illinois. Illinois generally prohibits the knowing possession of carrying a firearm, stun gun, or taser on or about the person in any public or private elementary or secondary school, on the person or in a vehicle, on the real property of any school, in any conveyance owned, leased, or contracted by a school to transport students to and from or a school-related activity, or on the person or in a vehicle on a public way within 1,000 feet of the real property compromising a school. So we already know that that was one law broken, because we know that she was within the school zone, okay? How do we know? Because when you see the screenshot of the video where Holly is standing casually talking on her phone like it's a regular Wednesday, and she's just ordering Uber Eats or something, ordering a pepperoni pizza. She ain't acting like she just killed some damn body. She was on the phone acting like, hey, girl, what you do yesterday? While she was standing there doing that, there's a school zone sign right behind her head. That's just an example of how close she was to that school. She's still in the school zone. She's still in the school zone. The prohibition is subject to various exceptions, including possession in any vehicle or concealed on or about the person when transported. Number one, broken down in a non-functioning state. So we know that the weapon should be broken down in a non-functioning state. Okay. Number two, not immediately accessible. Number three, unloaded and enclosed in a case, firearm carrying box, shipping box, or other container by a person who has a valid FOID card. Nor does this prohibition apply to law enforcement officers or school security officers, or to students carrying or possessing firearms for us in training courses, parades, hunting, target shooting on school ranges, or otherwise with the consent of school authorities, as long as firearms are transported, unloaded, enclosed in a suitable case, box, or transportation package. Finally, state law. Hold on one second. I ask that nobody text me while I'm live, please. Please. Hold on, y'all. So if I'm okay, where did I stop at? Finally, state law prohibits a person age 18 or older from selling, giving, or delivering any firearm to any person under age 18 in a public or private elementary or secondary school, or on the real property compromising such school. In Illinois, a school board must expel a student who possessed a firearm or other weapon at school, any school sponsored activity or event. Let's see. Okay, so let's go back. This is, I guess, the most important part. The rest we need to know. So, and that's the reason I say that is because it goes into colleges, university, possession of a silencer, and it gets more in depth. And I don't think we need to go that far because, with this case. But as it states, Illinois generally prohibits the knowing possession or carrying of a firearm, stun gun, or taser on or about the person in any public or private elementary or secondary school, on the person or in a vehicle on the real property of any school, in any conveyance owned, leased, or contracted by a school to transport students to or from school, or a school related activity, or on the person or in a vehicle on any public way within 1,000 feet of the real property compromising the school. Okay, so in layman's terms, ain't no guns allowed within 1,000 feet of the school or within the real property of a school, which is the school and the school zone. Okay, you can't say I'm on the football field of the school, so I ain't breaking no laws. You're within the real property of the school. Okay, so I think that makes that clear. Again, you guys, don't forget the investigation is still ongoing. I do not believe that it's going to end this way. I think some more things are going to come out. I think that they're going to be looking through phones. Chicago Police Department is notorious for lazy police work. They're notorious for throwing these cases to the side. They don't give a shit. They don't give a damn. That's the reason why everybody was so damn outraged when the Jussie Smollett situation came up, because the amount of investigative work they put in to figure out who put the rope around Jussie Smollett's neck, and the whole shit turned out to be a whole damn shit show. People were out in the city were outraged because, my goodness, look at all of the investigative work you're putting into this celebrity, but you got all of these unsolved crimes in Chicago that you have either closed, you got cold cases, you got stuff that y'all need to be working on, but you done use all your resources, all your money to investigate Jussie Smollett. So we know that the police department, Chicago Police Department, is very capable, especially when the spotlight is on them. I would advise Romeca's family to keep the spotlight on this case. I would advise content creators to keep the spotlight on this case in their quest for justice for Romeca Meeks, because the one thing about the Chicago Police Department is when they're being watched, they actually do their job. So since this is a very, very viral and publicized situation, hopefully people are going to continue to be loud about it. People are going to continue to shine a light on this situation. People will continue to demand that justice is given to Romeca and Romeca's family. And people need to continue to be loud about that girl serving time for killing someone in cold blood the way that she did. The more that y'all keep a spotlight on this situation, the more y'all put the Chicago Police Department on blast, the more they will do their job. Trust me. Trust me, they'll do it if they know they're being watched. If they know this situation is going viral, they know that people ain't leaving it alone, they will do their job. Ebony said, and she never told the police, hey, I'm the one that was involved in the altercation. It took the witness to point out, yes, she was standing over there ordering a pepperoni pizza. That's what I'm saying. She wasn't worried about it. She wasn't at all. Okay, so let's get to this part here. Okay. This, in my opinion, is probably the most, and she needs to be charged with, in my opinion, the unaliving of Romeca Meeks. But I get what you're saying too. Like, shouldn't she be charged with something? Because number one, she shouldn't have been in the school zone with it. She didn't drive past the school with it. She was stopped in the middle of the street with it. You're in 1,000 feet of that school or the school property. Let's get into it. In Illinois, including Chicago, A person with a CCL can only unalive another person without facing criminal charges if the act is determined to be legally justified under the state's self-defense laws. The law is specific and does not automatically excuse lethal force simply because the shooter has a license. Police will conduct an immediate investigation and may make an arrest, and a prosecutor will then decide whether to file charges when deadly force is justified. According to the Illinois law 720 ILCS 5/7-1, the use of force intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm is justified only if you reasonably believe it is necessary to prevent one of the following, which is imminent death or great bodily harm to yourself or another person. The second one, the commission of a forcible felony, which includes crimes such as armed robbery, criminal sexual assault, and kidnapping. Important limitations and considerations. Duty to retreat. This one is the one that I want you all to really, really pay attention to, okay? This is what is looked at when investigating a self-defense claim. Duty to retreat. I want you guys to understand, because I have a lot of people in the chat that may be from southern states. I have a lot of people in the chat that may be from stand your ground states. But Chicago's a little different. Illinois is a little different. Illinois is not a stand your ground state. Illinois does not have a stand your ground law. Illinois is a duty to retreat state. This means that in a public place, you have a duty to retreat and avoid using force if it is safe to do so. This duty does not apply if you are in your own home under what is called the castle doctrine, meaning you have no expectation to retreat if someone busts into your dwelling and tries to harm you. You don't have to retreat in your own home, okay? This is only expected in public places. In public places in the state of Illinois, you have a duty to retreat. Let me say this. We have we have these gun laws because of the excessive gun violence in Chicago. Okay? If you're from out of state, do not come to Illinois or Chicago specifically with your weapon without doing your research, because you will get your ass in trouble. Don't be out here riding around with your GUN without doing your research up in Chicago, because you will get your behind in trouble. Okay? Now I want y'all to pay attention to the duty to retreat. You have a duty to retreat, meaning if you are in a situation where there is an opportunity for you to step away, if there is an opportunity for you to leave the altercation, you are expected to do so. Okay? So when people are talking about how Romeca was the aggressor, even though nobody knows that for sure, when people say that, understand that there were two vehicles there. One of the vehicles was Holly's vehicle. She had every opportunity to retreat. I'm not going to play the video of the incident on my channel, but what I will tell you all is in that altercation, during that video, viral video, there was a Hispanic male that was going back and forth with Holly and saying, "You shot her." And she said, I gotta conceal to carry. He said, it doesn't matter. He said, it doesn't matter. He had her in a headlock and you shot her in the face. This is what the eyewitness said. If he had her, and we've heard several people say, even the Hispanic woman was on, I believe, Criminal Villains. or messy sweet spot, one or the other. And this also goes along with other witness statement that Carlos had actually was able to put Romeca in the car, maybe not fully in the car, but she was in the car far enough to where he was slamming the door on her back. During that time that the door was being slammed on her back, I need for the people that say that Holly was defending herself to tell me what Holly was doing while Romeca's back was being slammed by the door, while Carlos was having an altercation with Romeca. While Romeca was in the while Carlos had Romeca halfway in the car to where he was able to slam the door on her back. Can somebody tell me where Holly was during that time? Because it seemed to me that Holly had several opportunities to walk her slow, retarded ass away. And she chose not to. That goes against the law and guideline in the state of Illinois. You had an opportunity to retreat. In Illinois, you have a duty to retreat. You are no longer in the confrontation. Your vehicle is right there. They are fighting on the other side. You have time to walk away and get into your vehicle and leave, or get into your vehicle and protect yourself by rolling the windows up and locking the doors. But you didn't do that. And the eyewitness said you didn't do that. So I need for everybody screaming self-defense to stop. Please stop. Now, proportionality of force. This is also very important. The force you use must be proportional to the threat. Listen to that again. I'm going to say it again. Now, I'm not trying to, I get what everybody is saying. I get when people say it's 2025, I ain't fighting no more. Somebody run up on me, I'm going to blast their ass. I get it. I get it. I get how you feel. However, it's illegal. Okay? It's illegal in most states. If somebody wants to fight you, for you to pull out a gun and shoot them, and it's very illegal in Chicago. So I get how you feel, however, it's illegal. Just want to let you know that in Chicago. I don't know about nowhere else. I just want to make it clear that it's not legal to do that. Okay? Proportionality of force. I'm speaking on my state and my state alone, nobody else's. The force you use must be proportional to the threat. For example, shooting someone who has only thrown a punch would likely be considered excessive use of force up in Chicago. Shooting someone who has only thrown a punch would likely be considered an excessive use of force. Aggressor status. You cannot claim self-defense if you were the aggressor in the situation. It is many times where people have been the aggressor slash antagonizer, and we know that Holly is a big antagonizer, a big one. You cannot be, and I'm gonna add antagonizer because I like that word. You cannot be an aggressor slash antagonizer and then claim self-defense. You cannot create a situation where violence is possibly going to occur and then turn around and kill somebody when you invited them to the situation, when you created the situation. You cannot turn around and say, hey, had to kill her. Oh, yeah, I know I've been antagonizing her. I know I've been talking shit. I know I probably started the fight. I know I jumped in when her and her baby daddy was fighting and arguing. I know that she was in a headlock, but I shot her though, because I'm the aggressor and the antagonizer. You can no longer claim self-defense after being antagonistic or being aggressive. Reasonable belief. Whether the use of force is justifiable is judged by a reasonable person standard. A judge or jury will consider if a reasonable person in the same situation would have believed that deadly force was necessary. Let's get into possible criminal charges. If the use of force is found not to be legally justified, the CCL holder can face serious criminal charges, including first-degree unaliving. Proving self-defense is an affirmative defense raised during the legal proceedings. License revocation. An investigation into a self-defense shooting will immediately put a CCL holder's license at risk. Even if criminal charges are not filed, the Illinois State Police can revoke the license if they determine the licensee is a danger to public safety. If a license is revoked, the person must surrender it to the local law enforcement. Okay, real world examples. I don't want to get into that. Okay, let me pull this down real quick. Let's see. Let me pull this down really quick, and then I'm gonna get into the comments in a minute. Let me see. I want to see something. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to see something really quick. Okay, this is something different. Okay. All right, let me get into the comments, y'all. Let's see. Okay. I'm going from the bottom up. So that's if y'all wondering. Ebony said the witness said Holly was talking trash. I heard that. I heard the witness say that. And I want people to put more emphasis on the witness statement. As a matter of fact, when you're done here with me today, go and look at a lot of what the witnesses said. Look at what they said on the actual day of the crime, the video that went viral. Find it on these platforms where some of these victims have been on, not victims, but witnesses have been on these platforms, and listen to what they have to say. Don't discount what these witnesses are saying, okay? Remember, when people say, oh, such and such wasn't there, you wasn't there, but you can't say, oh, you weren't there, so you don't know. But then when people that were there are giving you an account of what they saw, you disregard it. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. The first thing that I heard that Hispanic male say when I watched the video again, probably for the millionth time this morning, was it doesn't matter that you have a CCL. She was in a headlock. That's what he said. That's what he said. She was in a headlock. She had no reason to be shot. She was no longer a threat to you because she was restrained. Okay? What matters is what the people that were there saw. That's what matters. And from what they stated and what they expressed, they did not describe a scene of self-defense. They described murder in cold blood. The witness, okay, I read that one. Yep, per eyewitness. Ebony said, and also that was her son's stepmom and her son's brother's mother. So she shouldn't have popped her 3 times. That was overkill, definitely. Shari Murray said, right upper, I ain't bringing a gun to a fist fight, no way, no how. Lovecat said, upper has a new title, up echelon intellect. That's funny. Great debater, Goat Rose Slayer. That's funny. Matlock, upcoming attorney. That's funny. That's cute. I like that. Thank you. Juanita said, and the number of people and their weight will be accounted for. Yep. The doctor said, did Holly have a child there at that school? No, she didn't. Or did she live by the school? No, she didn't. Why was she there? I missed that part. Ebony upper. Okay, so you missed that part. So no, she didn't have a child at the school. Her baby daddy, Los, lived down the street from the school. Okay. I think somebody asked me, it might have been Ebony. I want to say something. There is a lot of questions surrounding whether or not, like, what was the reason for the 2 vehicles transporting or Okay, so let's get into it. So for the people that don't know, so Los was driving his car and Holly was driving her car with the baby in it. Carlos had stated in a group text to his friends that was released by a family member that he was on his way to the gym with Holly. So her and Holly were on their way to the gym. The question that I have to say is really something deeper and sinister about this situation that I think is going to end up coming out very, very soon. I don't know why I feel like that, or that's how I feel. It's just too. Okay, so let's say this. Holly and Los were both driving separate vehicles going to the same location. Okay? The baby was in the car with Holly. My question is, why are we needing to drive two separate vehicles to go to the same place? We're going to the same place. We're both going to the gym in two separate vehicles. It sounds to me like a setup. That's what it sounds like to me. I really, really would love to know. I don't have not seen. I would love to see her CCL. I would love to see her actual license. Reason I say that is because I would love to see when she obtained her license, and I would love to see. I'm gonna keep that to myself, but I want to see her license. I want to know when she got it. I want to know if she got it before she met Carlos or after she met Carlos. I want to know if she got that CCL to have a legal weapon because Carlos couldn't get one, or did she have it already before she met Carlos? Did she have the CCL around the time that she started getting into it with Romeca, or did she have it long before she knew about Romeca? Certain things I just want to know. Definitely poking at the bear. Yup. Yup. Kadasia or Los cared about the baby. I don't think they did either. Ebony says, "Don't forget Carlos and Holly left the same home together exactly. So why two different cars if they're going to the gym together and dropping the baby off on the way to Los Mama?" Um, so Ebony says, "I will. Do you have a Ebony? You hit me in my inbox if you have a." If you have a copy, I don't know if her CCL was actually interesting. So this young lady filed, hold on one second, y'all. Let me see something. Hold on. And this is why people are saying that it's premeditated, guys. This is why people are saying that it is premeditated. Okay? Hold on one second. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she made this post in January. I think she made that post in January. For those of you guys who haven't seen, poor, sweet, innocent, I was just defending myself, Holly's post on Facebook. This is the post that she made on Facebook. Correct me if I'm wrong to those who know. Was this made in January of this year? Just wondering. I want to know when she got the CCL. I wanted to know. Ebony said it was about 6 months ago. I wanted to know that because I wanted to know, did she get the CCL while she was actively beefing with this young lady? And it sounds like she did. Sounds like she ran out and got a CCL. She ran out and got a bullshit temporary restraining order that she did not even go into the court to get. She literally tried to file it online and it was dismissed and it wasn't accepted. And she kept going and going and going until she finally got one. And the only reason she was granted one is because Holly didn't show up for that bullshit. Not Holly, Romeca didn't show up for that bullshit. And she didn't show up for it because she didn't give a damn if she got a damn order of protection against her, because she's never been around the bitch. Nor did she probably even want to be around the bitch. She got a whole nother man. I haven't heard that. I have heard rumors that she related to Mayor Johnson, but I don't know how true that is. I don't want to spread no lies. I don't know. Excuse me, y'all. It was by default. Her restraining order was given to her by default. Let's put this up here. Ice Soldier said the grandma had to get her CCL too. Romeca was threatening her life too. According to who? How do you know that? How do you know that Romeca was threatening the grandmother's life? Because that's what Holly said? Because Holly said it? Because that's what she said in order to get her order of protection? We don't know that that's true. We don't know that that's true. You can say whatever you want to say to get order of protection. It wasn't investigated the way it should have been. A judge didn't look into it the way that he should have looked into it, because the girl didn't show up. Case closed. Order granted. I don't believe anything that psychopath Holly Johnson has to say. Not a single damn thing. I don't believe shit she had to say. Nothing. I don't believe anything. I think she's a psychopath. I think she's a liar. I think she's a sociopath. And I think she was obsessed with Romeca and insanely jealous of her. That's what I think about her. Insanely jealous. Okay, Love Cat said, yes, she made it in January. So I think she would have done anything to delete her from the planet. That's what I think. I think she thought by getting Romeca out the way, once in her sick, twisted, obsessed mind, that once she got Romeca out of the way, that her and Los wouldn't have to worry about nothing no more. But let me just say this. You're going to always have to worry about other women. He don't give a damn about you either. What, you going to kill them all? Juanita said, what day was it posted? I'm not sure. I just know it was posted in January of this year. Malish said, I think it wasn't, because Chicago already got issues with this new administration and they don't want that smoke right now. Okay. Those were text now numbers. They were text now numbers. It wasn't what happened was she put it on Romeca. She put it on her. She said that it was Romeca, but she had no proof that it was Romeca calling her and threatening her. She didn't have her number. And it is stated on the order of protection that for anybody coming in here defending any killers, I'm just going to let you know. That's not what this channel is about. I don't know if you're just getting in here, but we stated our opinion. I stated my stance already. But as far as the order of protection goes, she said that she was being harassed telephonically by Romeca. She said that she had a device where she could see whose number it was that was calling her, even though it was a private number. I would love to know what device or what application she was using, because I know in this saga, folks been calling people from text now numbers since the beginning of time, and ain't nobody told me about any app that you can install in your phone to override a text now number or a private number to see who's calling you. But hey, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm behind in the times and I don't know about technology the way that I should. But I didn't know that there was an app that you can use to erase the private and see who really calling you. I didn't know that that's what it was. I never heard of that. But this is what Holly said. She said she was able to get down to the bottom of it and figure out that it was Romeca. This is what she told the judge. I don't believe that for a second. I think what she did is she went in there and she lied to get an order of protection. That's what I think. And I think she was granted the order of protection after she lied because Romeca didn't show up to court, period. That's what I think. Ebony, but yeah, I read that one. Upper, it sounds like Carlos didn't want to be in the car with Holly because of the, yep, he has a G-Win charge already. Oh, that could be it too. Yeah, Amelia, you're right. But at the end of the day, she still had, my thing is, I highly doubt she left the weapon in her car overnight, She spent the night with him, and I'm sure the weapon was in his home. So either way it goes, you know what I mean? Well, if they have voicemails, can you send them to my inbox? This is my Facebook right here. Hold on, let me show it to you. So if you want to send that to my inbox, this is my Facebook here. So send me the voicemail so I can hear them. Okay. So let me go down. Ooh, was it something that I wanted? Is there a reason why I had this pulled up? Look at him. Look at him. Look at him, y'all. Look at him. This is October 8th, on his birthday, exactly 30 days to the day from when Romeca was killed by Holly. This is him. Look at him. Y'all see that? Y'all see it? Is it? Hold on. Am I breaking up, y'all? Let me see. Yeah, he not. He don't care, y'all. Oh, okay. You said the police have him. Are you an officer? Did you hear him yourself? What did they say on what did the voicemail say? Did you hear him? If you did, let us know what they said on the voicemails. Malish said, "Oh, he a Libra man." I soldier. I'm a let me go ahead and let you know this. You might be confused about where you are. You can give your opinion in the chat at any time, but the moment that I think that you're being combative with me, you're gonna have to make another YouTube channel because I'm gonna block you. So don't get combative with me and don't get fresh with me in the chat because I don't argue. I block. I'm just letting you know. I'm warning you before it happens. Don't do it, or we don't need you here. And you give your opinion in the chat, but the moment you get fresh, go ahead and make you another Google Gmail because you're gonna have to make another YouTube channel to get back up in here and make another comment. Just letting you know. Okay. All right. So Juanita said Low stuck behind time, acting like this. He almost 40 years old. He's nothing but a criminal. He's just a criminal. You know, he's not a working man. He ain't got no real job. He's a scammer, a woman beater, got domestic violence all on his background, all type of shit, you know. We women just also have to learn to stay away from these types of men. That's it, that's all. And to think that he treated the mother of his child, I don't want to have anything to do with any man that could stand over they woman in that way. Hold on, because let me address something. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me put my phone on do not disturb. Okay. Chat. Hey, Danny. Yes, he is too old to be trying to have a rap career. Danny, make sure you hit the replay because I'm getting ready to get off. My goodness, I've been on here almost 2 hours. I'm getting ready to go ahead and get off. Hopefully, I was able to kind of break things down to the best of my ability. Obviously, I'm sure you guys know where I stand. So I'm gonna continue to stay on this case. At first, like I said, I wasn't really gonna be on it like that, but I think that I am gonna stay on this case because I see now, and the reason I wasn't really that hard on it before is because I was like, it's just clear that this lady was unalive in cold blood. What is there to talk about? But I see now that other narratives are being put out and that people have whatever, they have a right to say whatever they want to say, especially on their own platforms. But because of that, I'm going to make sure that I'm just as loud on my platform in how I feel about the situation with Romeca. So again, justice for Romeca Meeks, and prayers to her family. And I'm going to continue to cover this story as respectfully as possible, and really, in a way, do my part to kind of just assist the family with keeping this story alive and making sure that justice is served. So that's my mission. That's my goal. So thank you everyone that came to listen to me break down a couple of things and give some information and give my opinion and my feelings. Thank y'all for sticking in here with me. Make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Make sure you hit the notification bell before you leave. And if you're new and you just in my chat, you better subscribe to my channel. What's wrong with you? Hit that subscription button and hype me up. Thank you everybody that sent me a super chat or a super sticker and supported my channel in that way. If you sent me a cash app, I really, really appreciate it. I think Miss Foxy did. Thank you so much, Miss Foxy. You're greatly appreciated. I will see you guys later on in these YouTube streets. I'm sure maybe somebody probably gonna go live later on. So, and I do also know that a lot of y'all follow Keys Network. So I'll probably see y'all over there. So I'm sure he'll probably be live today or drop a video or something. So we'll talk. It's a public info. All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, and happy Indigenous Peoples Day. I will see you guys soon, hopefully tomorrow or Wednesday. All right, y'all. Peace.